Hi, it's Craig, the Spa Tech, and I've already done a video about doing a repair on a leaking moto massage corner on a hot spring spa that is 2009 to 2012, where they had an anomaly where the tubing did a hard bend and stressed that bleed line fitting underneath the moto massage seat. But that video had a plastic frame, and it's very easy to take the entire side of a plastic frame spa off, the whole panel, and just dig in. This is a wood frame spa, so it's a little more difficult, so I needed to do another video for wood frame spas. This is the back of the spa, and this is the right side. You always want to go in from the side, like on a Grande or a Vanguard, because if you try to go in from the back, there's plumbing in the way, and I find that on the side there's very little, almost never any plumbing in the way on a 2009 to 2012 Grande or a Vanguard. If you got another model like a Jet Setter, you have to go from underneath. There's not enough room to get in from the side. If you have like an Envoy with a lounger in the front, there's a lot of plumbing in the way. Those ones I've always had to go in from underneath. But on this one, I took a flat bar and I started at the bottom, and I actually loosened up several of these plastic slats, and they're all tongue and groove until you get to the corner piece, and it's just an overlap. So I started over here with a flat bar, and I started working my way up, doing like I took out 4 slats. This is 2, 3, and 4. I actually started getting the 5th one, but I worked my way up and up and up and up. And as soon as you get up to the shell, you can take these slats and you can rock them back and forth like this, and eventually work the staples out at the top where it goes into the shell. If you can get these off in one piece without breaking them or breaking up your tongue and groove or your overlaps, congratulations, because these are pretty expensive. So here's a 1x6 right here. I took my saw and I cut it, and I pulled out this 1x6 section. I started pulling out giant chunks of foam, and the deeper in I got, the wetter the foam was getting. I was starting to find saturated foam. Then as I got closer to where the leak was, and this is good, the truth with all these tubs, is your yellow foam starts turning dark golden brown when you start getting really close to where the leak is. Don't ask me why, it just happens. Then when you get really close to where it is, you start running into this teddy bear stuffing, which encapsulates where that 1/4-inch tube attaches to the fitting on the shell and the LED lens in there at the bottom of the moto massage seat. In past videos, I've always talked about not disturbing that LED light in there, but I'm finding that that little O-ring on that little plexiglass light lens for that little LED, those are starting to get deteriorated and cracking and leaking as well, because these tubs are now a decade old. So they're only a few bucks. I will give a part number at the bottom at the comments section. So if you're going through all this work to find and fix this leak, might as well just take the extra step and do that LED fitting in there, because that was actually, I could see on the other side that the lens was cracked. So I undid the Hubble fitting, pulled the wire out. The nut is epoxied to the shell, so I just leave the nut there and I unscrew the lens from the wet side of the shell. And then I screw the new lens in. Don't try to put any silicone or any sort of O-ring lube, because when you go to tighten up the new lens on the shell, if there's any sort of slippery lube on there, that O-ring is going to want to squeeze out. So just keep it dry from the wet side of the shell. Tighten it down into that epoxied nut on there until it's nice and snug, and then you can stick your LED, your Hubble fitting, and take care of that. And then work on this right here. I've got my my stub out of there. I've got a little extension on the tubing, so this is no longer under stress when it's attached. I took my 1964 drill bit and I drilled out the stub on the shell. Once it was all dried off and prepped, I mixed up my DevCon plastic welder. I got the plastic welder in the hole. I got the plastic welder on my 30598 repair fitting. Got it in the hole, nice and snug. I took an 1/8-inch drill bit and just ran it through so there's no epoxy in there. After 20 minutes, I'm going to reattach that hose, stuff some dry foam back in here, and then I'm going to adhesive and tack the slats back on. So there we go. I hope you learned something, and if you did, give me a like.